What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Joe, what movie are we talking today?
1995's Billy Madison. We hit a good one finally.
Remix!
Hey everybody, and welcome back to What the Hell Happened to Them? A special treat. You thought you liked it once before, but we're doing it again. It is Sandler Remastered. That's right. This bonus season, Joe and I will be going through some of our older Sandler movies and cleaning up the bad audio that went there. But we're not just gonna bring that audio into stunning HD. We're going to re-record live, look back at the old episode and how we've changed since, both in our personal lives and in the opinions that we have on the films. So, of course, that means my co-host is Joe Vekeman, a man who just wants to see a blue duck.
I just want to see a blue duck. I drew a blue duck.
It's very reasonable. And, of course, on the audio boards is Lev Van Rensselaer reminding me to remind you that you can email the cast at whathappenedtothemcast@gmail.com. Joe, what is the first movie we are redoing for our Adam Sandler Remastered season?
A classic. We're going to hit the classics? Or are we going to do them all?
We're going to do some great hits here. Yep, the greatest hits.
Oh, excellent. We rewatched Billy Madison. I rewatched Billy Madison for my 317th time.
I've seen it for my third time.
That's insane. Why would you deprive yourself of such glory?
We are not going to be doing Shecky Moskowitz. That's not the name of the movie. Going Overboard.
Wow, you remembered Shecky Moskowitz over Going Overboard?
I don't know why. And we are... what's the other one? Airheads.
Airheads, yeah.
We are unlikely to do those, so we're starting with Billy Madison. It's just not a lot of meat on those bones. They're not very fan-friendly episodes either.
This movie is a masterpiece. Shut your mouth. I love this movie. I cannot...
I'm not insulting Billy Madison. I'm insulting Airheads and Going Overboard.
I feel like I'm going to get a certain little jab... Because the way you structured your opening here, you're saying our thoughts and our new opinions.
Well, listening back to the old episode, we hadn't quite figured out our rapport yet, so we're talking over each other all the time. I'm a lot more rambly and slurring words. I'm quite ornery, like an alligator. And you're very, very nervous.
I sound like I am in a hole. And I'm really scared of a microphone. Like, I think the microphone's going to eat my face.
Yeah, I know. Your head's not close to it. It's weird that we kept talking over each other because we were in the room at the time. We could see each other. There was no time delay. Overall, I still like the movie. I still find the movie funny.
Excellent. Good to hear.
I just, some things have changed or matured or whatever. It was interesting, though, listening to the old episode that somehow we randomly started crapping on, or at least I started randomly crapping on Sylvester Stallone. I don't even know how we got into that conversation.
Well, Creed was coming out later that year. Maybe
we got to Creed, but it had not
nominated.
It was like about writer-directors or something. I don't know.
Oh, weird.
But it was interesting, too, because we talk about Jurassic World having just come out when we recorded that.
Oh, God. Yes.
And in September of 2015, we made that episode.
What?
Yeah. And now we're bookending it with Jurassic World 3 having just come out.
Yeah.
And if you had told 2015 Patrick, listen, they're going to make 2 more and they're each going to get way worse, I would say they couldn't get worse than this. You're insane, sir. Oh, was I ever that young, Joe? Anyway.
You were. It's documented.
No, I think I'm going to stand by the take that I don't think the movie is super well made, but I think it's better made than I've given it credit for. Like, the director here, there's a lot of camera moves she does, like when she reveals the Valentine from the principal with like the P.S. I'm horny line. You're able to get an extra joke out of it because of it. And there's a few moments like that where her directing, I think, is a little more comedically understated, but still there and pulling its weight. And I think that was a little unfair to me to do. I'm also a little more annoyed, and I was annoyed at it at the time. I'm more annoyed by it now, of this Adam Sandler's character mostly being goofball guy, but then just kind of having these weird moments of lucidity, just kind of randomly in there when the plot needed it. And I'm more annoyed by it now because Bridget Williams, is that her name? Wilson?
Brigitte Williams, yeah.
Brigitte Williams, who was on Frasier, by the way.
Hey, baby, I hear the blues are calling, tossed salads and scrambled eggs.
It's an episode where Frasier's in like season 9 or 10, where Frasier's been single for so long and Niles and Daphne are together that Niles and Daphne and Roz each set him up with a different woman.
Please tell me she does not get set up with Frasier.
Yeah.
She's like 22 in this movie.
Yeah, I know, but
This
then...
is 95.
Yeah, so 7 years later, she's on Frasier.
Okay, after this.
Long after this.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Because Niles and Daphne
29.
are together. I mean, it's still kind of weird because he's, I don't know, 50, close to 50 at that point.
Yeah,
So,
it's pretty bad.
But, it's TV. But good for her getting work. This movie, they argue about Mortal Kombat versus Donkey Kong.
Hell yeah.
And she, this very same year, 95, was in the Mortal Kombat movie.
Holy shit.
You think it was like a secret plug?
I mean, she had to have been like, I'm signed on to be in the Mortal Kombat movie.
So she's beating Adam Sandler up in the pool, which is a scene I don't remember at all, but it's actually a really good scene. She's like, you fucking idiot, don't waste your life.
Are they playing Marco Polo?
Yeah.
Hey!
You're wasting your life, you have something in you, and you're throwing it away for no reason. And so I thought, this could have been a character study, right? Because the father, that I'm surprised wasn't played by Robert Duvall.
Excuse me. Do not besmirch Darren McGavin. The dad from A Christmas Story.
Yeah, great for him.
I just watched him in something very recently where he was a dad. I watched him in something, I was like, hey, he's kind of young.
Yeah.
What was it? Hold on. Oh, Something Evil, a Spielberg movie.
Yeah, I'd not heard of this
It's like
movie.
a television movie. He plays the dad. It's in 1972, so he was much younger. And I was like,
Yeah, he'd have to be.
He looks the same.
Young dad. He always just had dad bod.
He's always looked like a 50-year-old man. And in this, he looks like an 80-year-old man.
Do you got dad bod, Joe? Is that one of the things that has changed between our first recording of this and now?
Excuse you, I have been working out like crazy every single day, and I feel great. I have an okay body.
You gotta fight off the dad bod. Listen, I'm pro working out. I'm on the Tom Brady method. I get it. You do feel good when you're working out and eating well.
I can show you. I bought the elastic band things.
Oh, baby, yeah, the resistance bands.
Yes, that's
they
what
work.
Resistance band.
They work like crazy. All right, so anyway, now to go back to the original point for the third time, is that you have this kid. All right, so she's beating him and says, you're wasting your potential, and the father looks out the window early on in the film and he's like, Billy, I hope you're fine what you were looking for.
That's a nice piece of shit.
Yeah, which never comes up. And I guess it was perhaps just to set up that joke. But
this is a great joke.
Like, there was the opportunity here for this character study of this guy kind of in a bad crowd. It's like a Good Will Hunting kind of thing, right? This guy that has a little more to him, hanging around with these lowlifes, Norm Macdonald, and who the hell is Mark Beltzman?
He is in other movies, surprisingly.
Like, Norm Macdonald, he and Sandler are buds, but was Mark Beltzman a comedian? How did he meet Sandler? How did he get involved in this when Sandler could have picked Spade or whatever?
Or I know Chris Farley's the bus driver, but that could have been.
I mean, there's any number of SNL friends, or even people on the stand-up circuit. Like, he could have picked a million people.
Beltzman, he was in Home Alone. That is his top credit.
What?
And he in Home Alone plays. He wasn't anyone that I remembered in that movie.
Yeah,
he plays Stosh. Yeah, Stosh. Who's Stosh? Is he the cop that chases Kevin out of the grocer when he asks about the toothbrush and he gets nervous because he sees the old man with the shovel?
Joe, I don't know. I don't know
Fine.
who this Stosh is in Home Alone.
Well, he's also in the Curb Your Enthusiasm pilot, I believe.
The pilot? It's been a long time since I've seen the pilot.
He's in Mo Money, starring Damon Wayans. He is in Speed 2, Cruise Control, where Keanu did not return.
Yes. I just ask it because, like, if it were just like another random dude and not Norm Macdonald, I'd be like, okay, Adam Sandler just got two random funny people. So I'm just like, why didn't he have his friend here? How does he know Sandler? Is he ever in a Sandler film again?
I don't know, but hold up. Wait a minute. Look at this. He's in another movie that came out last year.
Oh, wow. He's still working.
So he's still working.
Yeah. Living off those Billy
All
Madison
the movies I've
royalties.
listed before were in the early 90s.
Yeah.
He is in a movie that came out last year called The Marshmallow Mystery Tour.
Okay.
Now I'm going to leave it at that. There you go. Mark Belts. He doesn't really stand out for me that much, but, you know.
No.
I think he plays Frank in this movie. No, Jack.
Yeah, whatever. One of the two friends. Back to the original point again.
Well, hey, you asked me who Mark
Yeah,
Beltzman is.
I know. You got this Good Will Hunting story here where it could have been like, why is he afraid to kind of grow up, and like what's holding him back, and does he think he's going to lose something important by moving on to? And it works well with this graduation, school life, I don't know, backdrop you have. Like you could have had oddly enough, you could have had a strong thematic movie here. And so having this character need to be a certain way around his friends and his life, and then have to kind of move on from that and grow up to earn his father's approval and graduate high school and stuff, that would all make a lot of sense. But, you know, what was Adam Sandler, like 25 when he writes the script? Like, it probably wasn't going to happen then.
Yeah, it came out when he was 27.
You could remake Billy Madison and still have it be a pretty good movie and a little bit more well-written.
I curse you.
You can keep all the jokes and the Adult Swim humor and all the random stuff, but you could just have a stronger character study in there.
I mean, in the old-fashioned sense of remaking, which is take the core and turn it into something different.
Yeah.
Because this movie, there's no, like, really insensitive jokes that I noticed. Did you notice any really insensitive? That's the other thing.
There's not, like, grossly insensitive. There's a couple of things you can point to and be, like, homophobic. And then a couple of things you can point to and be like, a little dicey post-Me Too. But there's also the two counterpoints. The two counterpoints to that are, one, your director is a female. And two, the maid is giving it right back to Adam Sandler, too.
Oh, my God. Juanita.
Yeah.
She's great.
It's quite well-balanced in its sexual aggression.
The actress who plays Juanita the maid is incredible. I believe one of her first credits is Bob Fosse's All That Jazz, which I was like, oh, wow. I saw her and I'm like, holy shit.
Oh, she's got that great singing voice in the Bubblegum musical number.
Let me tell you, that plays for me every single time. All 317 times I've watched this movie. Yeah, Juanita, played by Teresa Merritt. Oh, she passed away like a long time ago, too. 1998.
Oh, that's a long time ago.
Pretty soon after.
Unfortunate.
She was in The Goodbye Girl, with Richard Dreyfuss.
Mm-hmm.
That's a pretty big movie. That won him his Oscar. She's in The Wiz.
Oh, well, that makes sense.
The Sidney Lumet movie.
Yep.
Yeah, she did pretty good. I mean, she's in like 14 movies, and if she's in a bunch of classics and Billy Madison.
Yeah, listen, I got no beef.
I'll be your snack pack.
And then the teacher, and then Bridget Wilson gives him whatever her name is. Hot for teacher gives him a whole big snack pack box, right?
Oh, yeah, that was so nice of her.
Yeah, little character moment there.
Snack packs, you're the coolest.
Yeah. Peeing your pants makes you the coolest, Joe.
Peeing your pants is cool. Consider me Miles Davis. Oh, never gonna get over that. That plays better and better as you know who Miles Davis is. When I was 8 years old, I didn't know who Miles Davis was. So hearing that, I was like, oh, that's just a weird thing to say.
Yeah,
She gets like the big laugh line in the movie.
I know. The remake, though, would be hard because it'd be hard to find someone that could pull off Sandler's shtick, you know?
Yeah, I wouldn't want this to ever be remade. Don't curse
There's
us
a better
with that.
script here, I think, than what we got. I think it could be there. Just saying. So Tamra Davis, the director here, noted because is this like the only female director he's worked with?
Oh God! I knew you were going to ask me that.
I just
think it's yes.
I just find it surprising because other than that, it's like all of his same stable of directors. So like, why didn't she direct more Sandler films, especially if this was kind of something she was game to do?
Okay, hear me out.
Yeah.
Valerie Breeman directed Going Overboard.
Oh, okay.
So I'm going to say his first 3 films, 2 out of 3 female directors. Way to go, Sandman.
Yeah, I know. Breaking the glass ceiling. Before, noting what things rhyme with Netflix.
I'm going to take Dennis Dugan to the bank, and we're going to make a lot of money together. Yeah, I think it's just those 2, right? I can't imagine him working with the
I don't know.
female director.
Trying to think back to all the films we went through. I don't. So Valerie not bringing her back makes sense. I don't know because that was just some weird one-off project with all those people.
Yeah,
but
they got a boat.
You got Tim Herlihy making his first appearance here. The Billy Madison, this very Sandler-esque creation where it feels like Shecky Moskowitz. He just kind of got tagged on too. Like he wasn't I don't even think he was on SNL yet. He wasn't really anybody. So this is him trying to think about life after SNL, and I just don't know why she didn't stay in the stable of directors.
Well, she was off doing her own thing. She wasn't not making movies after this. She made Half Baked. She did Crossroads. She did this movie called Skipped Parts, which I've never heard of. She did a Beastie Boys she did some Beastie Boys music videos. She made a Chris Rock movie before Billy Madison.
Oh.
And as we know, Chris Rock and Adam Sandler are pretty close. Maybe
that's actually
Chris Rock was like, hey, I worked with this awesome director.
Yeah.
Why don't you work with her for your first big starring movie?
Yeah, so we see quite a few things begin here. Tim Herlihy showed up early. Mm-hmm. Adam Sandler's fashion statements begin very early in his career.
He's got it. He's made from the beginning.
Yeah, it's good to see fame didn't go to his head.
You know what? I gotta bring up something though, because I don't know about you. When you see the outside exteriors of the hotel, you're like, wow, big hotel. Like the big yard, you see the fountains and everything.
Well, it's not a hotel, Transylvania. It's like a hotel. It's just like his house, right? His mansion.
I thought but isn't he trying to... Yeah, the house is whatever, it's a mansion.
But she's like, oh, it's like a hotel in there. And I thought, the beginnings of Hotel Transylvania, you say.
Okay, sure. But my point is, it's a big house, it's very expensive, they're a very rich, family. Why does their kitchen kind of look like shit?
Well, the kitchen was made in 1974.
Their kitchen doesn't look very fancy.
Kitchen's outdated.
And I'm like, could use a little more fanciness in there. If I'm gonna nitpick one of my favorite movies, I'm gonna call it The Kitchen.
Okay.
Kitchen could have looked a little more. Let someone put some money into it.
His love of basketball shown starting pretty early here.
Yeah.
Plays some basketball there. Sloppy Joes are a big theme apparently in Sandler's life. A song may perhaps soon be coming out.
Yeah, the lunch lady. He loves his lunch ladies.
Yeah, Styx reference. Styx is referenced here. The band. Adam Sandler, obviously, big fan of them. And
Styx.
Big Daddy.
He feels like he has a big fingerprint on all the music choices in this movie too. Mm-hmm. All of these, I'm like, oh yeah, this is a Sandler song.
Yeah, and then he sings some of them too. So it all works out there.
Do you know the guy who sings his 3rd grade graduation song? I've never seen him before.
No.
But when he sings, he's like, oh, past the 3rd grade, the Billy Madison way. It's great.
Okay, we just don't know who this guy is. I thought you were going to follow that up with who that guy was.
No, I'm just complimenting
his singing.
It's a great song.
Okay, good song.
I like it. It's a good stinger for that. And then Billy's clapping. We
open up with some Tim Burton looking credits that then immediately go into Fast Time at Ridgemont High looking credits.
Yeah. Oh, but it's got the Danny Elfman kind of thing, but it's not Danny Elfman, fake Danny Elfman.
Faux
it's like a Pee-wee score.
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun,
if you had a budget.
Dun, dun. And he's chasing the penguin around.
Yes. The opening credits going on forever.
They're great. Nothing wrong with those credits. I think they are perfect, and every person's name is shown with the proper amount of
It's given the time they need. Well, the credits make the film obviously look dated, but you want to know how else this movie's old, Joe?
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, we haven't been doing this for Jack Nicholson because the movies are taking place in the 60s. Obviously, they're going to be way different. But the 90s feels like it's fair game, so...
Yeah.
Nude magazines are exciting and new.
Yeah.
Sort of outdated now, these nude magazines. Very easy to find nudies now. Playing dodgeball in school. I don't think you're allowed to do that anymore because too many people are getting hurt, as we saw in the movie. Do you remember playing dodgeball in school? I don't think I played dodgeball in school.
Yeah, I had fun. I was bad at it,
Yeah.
but I'm bad at most sports.
Kids are arguing about the Sega Genesis. Sega Genesis, big topic of debate. Teachers are allowed to touch students in a disciplinary manner. That's a big no-no now.
Ow!
Do not do
I
that.
can't hear you because I'm deaf.
They are teaching cursive in school. We were like at the tail end of that, I think, Joe.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I definitely kind of missed it where my schooling. But Naruto, and then she's like, "How about the word buzz?" And he's like, "Oh, I hate cursive and I hate all of you."
Yeah, I
great.
was
I know
taught
this whole
cursive, and we did that for 2 or 3 years, and then suddenly one summer, I came back to school and forgot that we were supposed to write in cursive, and then I just didn't ever again.
Yeah. Well, my story is I was learning it in 3rd grade at my elementary school, and then I was picked up and told to go to another elementary school that had already learned cursive in 2nd grade. And I was like, okay, so I just don't learn it then, because they were already doing it, and I'm like, and they're like, if you don't know it, just write and print. And I'm like, okay. And then I came back, and everyone's like, well, you don't know cursive, do you? And I'm like, nope. So I had
And
to
they
figure
said,
it out. on my
fine.
own.
You know why? Because you don't need it, and it's much easier to read regular anyway.
People like to put too many bubbles on their letters.
Yeah, whatever. Trying to make it just have a fancy John Hancock is all. People are writing on blackboards. Blackboards went the way of the dodo.
Yeah, with chalk.
Yeah, adults are allowed to invite 8-year-olds over to their home to hang out.
Well, Ernie's a special kind of kid.
Couldn't do that anymore. And lastly, adults are allowed to just randomly walk into a school when they feel like it. Adam Sandler just going back to his old elementary school to visit would not be allowed these days. I go back. I went back once to be a guest lecturer in the school I went to that the principal still remembered me. I had to basically sign over my firstborn child to be able to get into that building.
And that's weird because you don't have a firstborn
Yeah, I
child. to
know.
my
They were like,
recollection.
listen, you call us up when he's there because it's ours.
Oh, okay.
I hope he doesn't mind, but we'll see.
What about, okay, so if we're going to call out little things. So if they had a contract in place for him to go through all 12 grades for 2 weeks, and then all of a sudden the principal of his elementary school that has already passed and signed off and saying that he's passed all these grades said that he was cheating or whatever, that nulls it. All right?
Yeah, but then he comes back and says that was a lie.
Well, he's going to study and finish the rest of the grades, but then he doesn't finish the rest of the grades.
I think that's what nulls it. I don't think it's the other thing.
Yeah.
But maybe they didn't foresee that happening, so that writer wasn't in the contract, and so it was by letter of the contract. Sandler had to finish it within this amount of time. Listen,
And then
I don't
they're
know.
like, you know what? Forget going back to school. So forget the first hour of the movie.
Yeah.
We're going to do an academic decathlon.
And by the way, some of those questions at the quiz at the end were hard.
Well, the hardest question for you was probably burning dog poo and the human response. I tried to remember.
See, there was another good joke where all it is just like we go on Adam Sandler's face as that's red,
He's
and
like,
Sandler's like, yes. But that's a well-directed moment there. Like that could have been over. A lot of directors could have just settled for showing us the wacky name of it and being like, done. You know, they're also hiding all the references to the principal's cheating wife in there, like in the background too. Like I know he names
He's
one or two of them, but
incredible.
there were a lot more on that board.
That principal shows up in Dirty Work, if you remember.
He's
He's like one of the homeless people outside the building where they try to...
Okay. No, he's good. He's actually really good in this movie for seeming like he's not doing anything.
Yeah.
He's playing that straight man very, very well. And that itself is funny, which is a hard thing to do. Where he just has to be like, that was a dumb thing that you said, and we're all dumber for hearing it. It's a very actually well-delivered monologue for not really having a joke in it. That itself is the joke.
And then Sandler just kind of puts a button on. He's like, a simple wrong.
Yeah.
Can we talk about maybe the best scene in the movie? Perhaps. It's become very iconic.
All right, what's the scene?
So, Sandler has been told that he should make amends with some people that he bullied when he was younger. And so he calls up, and all of a sudden, ELO's telephone line starts playing.
Yeah.
And we see Steve Buscemi answer a phone. And as soon as he says hello, the ELO song kicks in, and they say hello. They talk. Sandler apologizes. Buscemi seems
disinterested,
flabbergasted. Yeah. He's just like, oh, okay, that was weird. And then song really kicks in, pulls out his lipstick, puts it on, and crosses off Billy Madison's name off a kill list.
Yeah, and then we just like linger there.
Great jokes, great use of songs.
We just kind of chill and we just watch him think about that moment. Like, you found that little character moment there.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. This is like part of Adam Sandler has to make amends. The teacher tells him to do that. Like, this is part of him growing up. Like, you could have had a lot more of this in there in your childish Adult Swim humor movie and kind of have it really inspect itself. It's a smart way to do this movie.
I think it had plenty of everything. It's great.
I'm not saying the movie's bad. I'm just, here's how we could make it better.
I'm just being me about this.
That's okay. I mean, this is a lot of fun. Like, I like that ending scene where everybody just starts smooshing each other randomly.
Chris Farley and the Penguin.
Chris Farley and the Penguin. Steve
and then
Buscemi shows up with Juanita. Like, it's
but then his two friends, Norm Macdonald and what was his name, Mark
Beltzman.
Yeah, they try to make out with the high school girl, and I'm like,
Norm Macdonald makes out with the sloppy Joe lady.
Oh yeah, the
Mark
lunch
Beltzman
lady.
at the very end tries to make out with the high school girl, and she's just like, "What the fuck's wrong with you?"
No,
dude?
she pushes him away.
Yeah,
yeah. Norm Macdonald, the lunch lady.
The first grade teacher kisses the clown who like was like a throwaway joke very early on, and then becomes a recurring character in the second half.
He's scoring points, and then he comes in and he dunks at the end, and you're like, wow.
No, it's a good ending sequence there. I was worried. I'm like, is that this movie or is that a different Sandler movie? Because I like that bit. And then
it's
like, was that the sweetest thing? And then
the sweetest thing.
The sweetest thing has a moment similar to it at the end, but it's not about kissing.
Are you talking about the Cameron Diaz movie?
Yeah.
No.
There's a thing at the end where like I won't say it on air because it's a little inappropriate, but like there's a thing they have to solve, and then when they solve it, everybody's like woo, and they're cheering, and everybody's like hugging each other, and like these random like there's like an Israeli and a Palestinian at the end, they're like hugging each other randomly, and there's just this moment like that. So I thought maybe I was thinking of that, but no, it was this movie. I was glad. It's a good joke. Adam Sandler's studying, and he's got a photo of the teacher on his desk, and the photo just looks like her headshot.
Yeah.
It's the actress's actual headshot.
That she brought to set that was like, hey.
Yeah, she's like, you want a photo of me? Here's a really good one.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah. You know, he's trying to get it on.
That was a good Farley. Who would eat 30 kids' bag lunches?
Yeah.
They're all laughing, eating the food.
I like how that ends the field trip. Like, just stop at a McDonald's on the way back, everybody.
Yeah.
My goodness.
And they all pee their pants and they get on the bus.
Yeah,
and
he's
just
like, like looks down
all right,
at it.
no yelling. And he's like, good, great.
Overall, movie still holds up, I think.
Overall, good movie, A+, no notes.
Could be better. I got some notes. No, it was just interesting hearing back our old episode and I don't know,
burn
like,
that thing
where
to the
we
ground.
were in 2015, and I was still very anti-Sandler back then. We were really dunking on later Sandler, and we're like, it's all downhill from here, and it just wasn't true.
Yeah, not true at all.
We were unfair to some of his other comedy movies, I think.
I would put that maybe just a couple of rungs below Billy Madison, but Hubie Halloween is a return to form.
Even between then, like, there are a lot of Netflix in general have been very good movies for him. I think we, like most of America, got caught up in the fact that a lot of his movies weren't performing as successfully, though a lot of them were still successful.
It's easy to dunk on Sandman.
Yeah, you
and
set the
then when you
benchmark
actually
with
get to
like
know him,
Waterboy, and like that's unsustainable. I think people are attacking him on that. And then you have like bad movies, like Mr. Deeds. I don't think is a good movie.
yeah, watched it recently. Doesn't hold up.
There's a lot about grown-ups people kind of yawn at, despite like, and all those movies were successful.
Grown Ups 2, great movie.
All those movies were successful and stuff. It's just, I don't know, all them, like, you get your blendeds in there and just go with it. And even, like, Zohan was underrated. Like, that gets lost in the shuffle, and you just assume they're all bad, and then it becomes cool to not like it.
I like to revisit Zohan if you're into
Yeah,
that.
I think we'll do that. Like, it's cool for us to just not like things anymore, and I think we as a generation, for us, it's cool to not like things, especially when we were at that age when Sandler was kind of over the hill, so to speak. But like bedtime story, like this Disney stuff isn't super great.
Yeah.
Surprise, surprise, Disney ruining another one of our celebrities that we follow.
God.
Who would have thought? I don't know. I at least, a little bit of you were unfair as we were beginning this podcast and just assumed it was going to get crappy. And I think that helped because we were like, oh, what a surprise. I enjoyed these movies.
Yeah.
Like with Julia Roberts, you know? So, as the leading Sandler podcast, the leading Sandler scholars in filmdom, leave Sandler alone. He makes a movie or two every year. They're not all going to be winners. Leave him alone.
But he does have another movie coming out.
That's right, his Spaceman movie.
What a cast.
And then
That
we got
cast.
Murder Mystery 2 to look forward to as well.
That's definitely next year.
Yeah.
I feel like that's another like summer
So
release.
Spaceman is this year?
I mean, it was supposed to be this year. It might have been delayed because of like COVID stuff.
Any number
but
of reasons, yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Well, we already got our Sandler movie this year, so it's not the worst if they get pushed back. We get 2 next year.
Yeah. Hustle was great.
Also, it was a good movie.
It was fun.
But I'm mentioned for another Hubie Halloween. I want like another. Give me another Sandler comedy. Let's go. Especially after watching this.
Give me Sandman at Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
What can he do with that? He's got a Thanksgiving song.
Yeah.
He put that at the end.
Right? He's like, get somebody going like gobble 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 gobble. We're Thanksgiving now.
I mean, and he's big on the family like aspect in most of his
Yeah,
movies
especially now. Like it
so
could
it's
be
just-
like a weird big family. Like all of his weird distant relatives are coming from out of town, and
bring back Alan Covert.
bring back Alan Covert. Bring back
Peter Dante.
just
Bring back
everybody.
Jonathan Lofgren.
Did Bradley Whitford ever do another Sandler thing?
No, but wouldn't that be amazing?
Yeah, I was trying to
He's
think
an-
back. I'm like, I felt like he showed up. Should have got him for Hubie Halloween instead of Ray Liotta.
Oh, excuse you. Ray Liotta is a man that has passed on now, and I
I'm not
I
speaking
loved him
ill
in
of
that.
the dead.
He was fun.
Yeah, well, you know, and looking back too, that's probably a better Ray Liotta role anyway.
Yeah.
Bradley Whitford, you do kind of need that smarm, like high class kind of thing to it.
You know who I love Michael Chiklis, but I don't know if he fit into that movie too well. Maybe swap him.
That
with
one
Bradley
felt odd
Whitford.
too, but I don't think you want Bradley Whitford in that role either.
Oh, you'd beef it up if Bradley Whitford's in there. Might make him the third lead.
Yeah. Brigitte never got in another movie either. Does she act anymore?
I don't think so.
I saw she was married to Peter Sampras, so she did pretty well for herself.
Yeah, I think she was like, I don't need this shit.
Yeah.
You know, Hollywood.
I bet Sandler could drag her out for a quick cameo in this theoretical Thanksgiving film.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah. I bet you could get like a quick scene with her in there as something. Like a weird cousin or something.
Something.
Yeah, that's what I liked about Julia Bowen's role in Hubie Halloween that we didn't get to do with her in Happy Madison. I'm sorry. Oh, jeez.
Happy Gilmore.
Happy Gilmore.
You did the thing.
And that we didn't do with Bridget Madison here in this movie is like we let her be weird too. Weird and kooky.
Yeah.
And so I like that they're not, you know, hopefully in the future that, and it, I guess Jennifer Aniston was doing it in the movie she did. Like the women aren't just like the women, you know, when they're there.
Which one? He's done multiple Jennifer Aniston
Yeah, all of them.
movies.
They got to all play off of each other for that go with it stick. And then in Murder Mystery, you know, she's like faux detective and he's trying to be the straight man. He's like, no, we're not getting involved in this. She's like, no, I think we can do this. It's going to be good. It's easy. Like, I like that's evolving in his filmmaking. And so, like, thinking back to the old Julia Bowen to this current Julia Bowen, you're like, oh yeah. So you could do something with Brigitte and have her be kind of kooky too, like a kooky cousin in this Thanksgiving film. There's a way you could do that.
Definitely. Yeah. I was just remembering the scene, though, and just go with it, where they're trying to get the coconut to the top from, like, their Sandler's, like, trying to bring it up Aniston's body, and they're trying to do it with, God, who's the other guy from the Dave Matthews guy? Is it Dave Matthews?
It's just Dave Matthews, yeah.
Dave Matthews guy. Yeah, Dave Matthews.
Dating the Academy Award winning
Nicole Kidman.
Nicole Kidman.
Yeah, it just always gets the Academy Award winners in all of his movies. It's great. That scene's great. That's a fun scene.
Yeah,
great for comedy. People being silly.
I think back to Billy Madison, and even like all the great stories we hear about how he is with everybody. Like I'm just watching him throw dodgeballs at kids, and I said, I bet those kids had a wonderful day. Mm-hmm. I bet all the kids loved being around Adam Sandler. I bet even between scenes he was goofing with them and cheering them up and making them laugh. Like it sort of is his milieu, being around 10-year-old kids. Yeah, he's having lunch with them and stuff.
And all the nice on-set stories you hear from him.
Yeah.
It's good to know that there's some niceness in this world.
Yeah, so like when we have this scene where like girls are sending him Valentines, like I don't think it's creepy. It's just kind of amusing.
No, and he's just like, he's like shaking his head. He's like, oh, these silly girls.
Is this a character? This is something I thought of. It's especially interesting because Adam Sandler's not Adam Sandler yet. Is this a character we're meant to get behind right away? Because he's sort of a bit of a jerk for the first 8 minutes. I know Bradley Whitford has to kind of set him up for towards the end of that 8 minutes, but there's a lot of it without Bradley Whitford where he's being a jerk. It's sort of very reasonable what Bradley Whitford wants, which is, I should take over the company because I know what I'm doing, and your son is an incompetent. To which I go, yeah, it's probably fair. If he were all like 10 years into his career and everybody loved Adam Sandler already, you could kind of get away with it, but I don't know. Like, was this sort of a dangerous risk to take?
This is a very good point. He's just so goofy with the suntan lotion in the beginning, and he's singing a little song.
You think that should be winning us over right away?
Yeah. Like and on SNL, he did the opera man, so he was always doing like wacky little songs. Yeah, and he likes being drunk in the pool, so he's like, oh, this guy's fun.
We're being won over by the time he's in school or when he's in school with the first graders. So like we don't have to wait too long to get on his side, but there's a lot of this movie where you could look back and be like, well, in the real world, I think I'd rather go with the Whitford guy. So just something to think about there from a screenwriting perspective. Again, if you knew you were working with this bona fide movie star, comedy star, like you could get away with it because we want to be on his side going in. But like, I wonder if Billy Madison's original audience were just like SNL devotees. Something to think about. Well, we don't really need to do last looks because we already kind of know how it all settles out.
Yeah. Did we say how much money this movie made?
What?
Did we say how much money this movie made?
How much did the movie make?
Okay. Budget, $10 million.
Yes.
It's all on the screen.
You know what? The production design actually very good in this movie. Actually doing a really good job in telling us a little bit about character, but a lot of just great visual stuff with colors and things happening.
Made $26.4 million. So not a giant hit, but it's decent.
Yeah, no.
For like just an SNL guy. Because that's all he was at this point. He
was just some nobody. The movie was like some random thing they threw on in like the summer, maybe this fall, when the movie came out.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like basically his, like Mike Myers did with Wayne's World. He was just like, I'm just going to take my goofy shtick and bring it to the
forefront.
February 10th, played for Valentine's Day?
They have that Valentine's scene in the movie, so it makes sense.
I mean, good job.
Yeah. I mean, production design-wise, again, going back to that, like each classroom looked and felt different, so we never got confused what grade he was in. When I was in school, all the classrooms looked the same. It was the same architecture, same design, same color, same paint layout. You wouldn't have a school where every room looked different. Like you wouldn't design it that way. But for a movie, it helps us out, keep track of things. So well done, production designer and director. Okay, now I will thank Lev Van Rensselaer for minding those audio boards and helping us sound so slippery smooth. I'd like to thank Joe Vekeman for stopping by.
Thank you for having me.
So this is just a fun thing we're going to be doing as our schedule allows. Every, 3, 4, 5 weeks, we'll throw another one at you here, these remastered Sandler's bonus season. We're still going to be sticking with Jack Nicholson and going forward and keeping up to date with the other 3 people. So no worries there. You'll still get your regularly scheduled content. Just every now and then we're going to throw one of these in. to help clean up some of our old messes and nascent podcasting mishaps. I am your host, Patrick Skeyhill. You can find my features, documentaries, short films, video essays, animations, behind-the-scenes footage, and so much more at QuixoticUnited.com and social media, presumably with a similar sounding name. Thank you all for listening. Joe, say goodnight.
Good night.
Yes, I will go back to school and achieve victory. No man will take what my father has built unless that man is me.
My Billy, sweet Billy boy, I knew you would go back. No one can stop you if you try. Don't I have a nice rack?
I thank you for beating the shit out of me. I see things so clearly now. I choose my destiny.
Oh, Billy, I knew you had it in ya.
We're here to help you, Billy. Get back in school to stay. You gotta work real hard and stick it out till graduation day.
Hey, kids, it's me. I bet you thought that I was dead. But when I fell over, I just broke my leg and got a hemorrhage in my head. There are obstacles in the way, but together we shall overcome. Cause you can't break a spirit and you can't kill a dream. Do you have any more gum, more gum, more gum, more gum? Do you have any more gum?
Stars Faye Dunaway, Tommy Lee Jones, Raul Julia, and Renee Aubajois. Directed by Irvin Kershner.
Some big names in there.
It's the first major studio film of writer, director, composer John Carpenter, who wrote the film's screenplay, which was originally titled Eyes. That's why I heard of it.
Okay, why are you bringing that up?
It's just on Prime, but it leaves Prime in 4 days, so I didn't know if you heard of it and if you were looking for it or whatever.
No, I was never looking for the Eyes of Laura. What was it?
Eyes of Laura Mars.
Yeah.
I don't know. Oh man, Lincoln's leaving soon. I liked Lincoln. I'm glad.
Yeah, Lincoln was fun. Surprisingly fun.
How many? Let's see. I'll give you the quick rundown of what I've got left of directors I've been watching this year. My Spielbergs. I have watched 25 Spielberg pictures this year.
He makes a lot.
Yeah, I still have, I believe, 11 or 12 movies left. I've seen all of them but one or two.
Yeah, I like that text you sent me.
Uh-oh. Which text?
The kids like going off on how pretentious Steven Spielberg movies are.
Suntan lotion is good for me. What is it? Oh,
yeah,
wait.
Pretentious dumbass, go jerk off to a Steven Spielberg movie. Because this one guy didn't like The Gray Man, which seems reasonable.
Pretentious dumbass.
Yeah, and I'm like, yes, of course, all the, the avant-garde experimentalness of E.T.
Yes.
And
the most
Bridge of Spies.
Hey, don't say anything bad about my Bridge of Spies. I love that movie. No, I bought it.
Movie. Nobody could love that movie. It's like a movie you go like, oh, okay.
I saw that with Richard like the weekend that it came out. We both walked out. We're like, wow, what a movie! Movies! And then I haven't watched it or thought about it since.
Yeah,
but then I was doing the Spielberg thing this year. And I'm like, all right, I remember liking that one a lot. And then on my Blank Check show I listened to, they were singing the praises, and I was like, you know what? I can't wait to rewatch it. And then we'll see.
All right, well, good luck to all of you on that.
Oh, so yeah, I've got 25 Spielbergs, 16 Altmans, and I'm trying to clear out the ones I haven't seen. The Altman ones.
I thought you were done with Altman. How are you not done with Altman yet?
I just did the 70s
years.
last year.
Okay.
No, I just did the 70s. Now I'm doing all of it.
Now you can do Secret Honor, former Watergate movie.
Yeah, I haven't touched his 80s yet. I'm really nervous, because after I watched Popeye last year, I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, that was an odd
I did not
choice.
like it. I know a lot of people like it. but it's not my bag. But I'm gonna revisit it when I get to it. I have his couple of like weirdo like movies he made in between Three Women, a masterpiece, and Popeye, a nightmare.
Yeah.
Ridley Scott, I'm going in order this year. I have watched 14 in a row.
In a row?
Well, I mean...
The last 14 movies you've seen are Ridley Scott movies?
No, well, I mean... I guess not. You're right. Whatever.
Yeah,
They
that's what I
can't
thought.
because I've been watching Jack movies. But let's see. This week alone, I've watched... let's see. G.I. Jane, Gladiator, Hannibal, Black Hawk Down, Matchstick Men.
Matchstick Men, yeah.
What, do you not like that one?
No.
What's wrong with Matchstick Men?
I don't
It's
like
great.
Matchstick Men, and I just don't care about the other ones you listed.
Even Black Hawk Down?
No, do not care. It's there, it does its job, and then I leave.
It won Best Editing. And you know what? I agree.
Okay.
Because you know what wasn't going to be win Best Editing?
What?
Ron Howard's A Beautiful Mind. That was Best Picture that year.
Oh, that year, huh?
Insane. Fucking sane. Crazy. Did Russell Crowe win back-to-back Oscars for that? No, that was Denzel. I was going to say, if he won Gladiator and then won for A Beautiful Mind.
It's a dangerous world we're in.
I'm still going to do it someday. I'm not going to do it now, though.
Okay.
I'm too busy. I'm going to go through the Ron
busy.
Howards. All the Ron Howards.
Yeah, well...
I'm going to torture myself.
Good luck to you there.
Cronenberg.
Yeah, you kind of tied up with a lot of directors there.
Well, I mean, Ridley Scott, I've seen like everything but two. I'm just going through. Those are fun. Those are a breeze. I love Ridley. Are you kidding me? And like I said, I'm almost done with Spielberg.
Well, now we can begin our Tamra Davis filmography.
You know, I looked at some other movies she did, and you know what? It's kind of sad.
That's all right. We can. I do want to talk about her a little bit when we do the podcast popper.
I wish there was more there for her after she made this landmark motion picture.
Yeah, Landmark. Okay.
I mean, she made.
We'll save it. We'll get there. We'll get
Okay,
there. All right,
okay.
let's just jump in.
Here we go.